Oops, I knocked the table over then. Good morning, everybody. Sorry for the late start. I was so busy drawing an Easter egg, I looked at my watch and went, whoops, so I didn't even get around to drawing the second Easter egg. I hope you're okay. I hope you've all got your quizzes. Okay, quick, if you haven't got it, just go on my page, quick, print it out, or if you have it on another device, amazing, because we're just going to go through the answers today. Obviously, I will write out the question and maybe give you a minute or so just to check through it, but let's go. So we've got Rowan, Molly in Scotland, hi, got Mia and Noah, hello. We've got Tom in Royston, thanks for the t-shirt, yay! Tom got his Maths Live t-shirt, amazing. Got Zach and Henry, I know they've got their t-shirts, I love their photo. Got Darcy, hello, got Rihanna, hi, welcome. Brilliant, right, I'm gonna get started. Okay. I hope you've all had a lovely Easter, or if you don't celebrate Easter, I hope you've had a lovely long weekend. Okay. And the weather has been nice, cold, but nice. I actually managed to burn my lips yesterday in the sun. I don't know why, but I'm really susceptible to it. So even though it was a really, really cold day, it was still sunny. I need to get sun cream for mine. Just happens. Right, okay, I will do more shout outs as we go along. So we've got 10 questions. 9 of them we're going to go through today in this lesson. The last question, you'll notice it's a drawing question. So that will actually, by the time this lesson's finished, it will be on the page, the answer. I've pre-drawn it and put it up, so it'll be on there. So the first 2 questions are these. We have question 1. 2,654 add 1,528. So that's question 1. If you want to have a go at that, if you haven't already done so, you can do. If you have done it, maybe just have a quick check. Question 2 is 8,371 take away 3,529. So let's have a look at the feed while everyone's just having a little look. Brilliant. Hi Isabella, morning. Brilliant. Hi Sophia, hello. Hi Logan, hi. Brilliant. Right, Rowan's got his answers. So, let's have a go. So let's do good old column method. I think I should have some space, just squash it in here. So, you know what I'll do? I'll put it just above there, 6, 5, 4, rather than rubbing it all out. There we go. So 4 plus 8, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we put our 2 and carry our 1 over. I know some of you put the 1 at the top or the 1 underneath, it doesn't matter. As long as it's clear that you carried it, so you remember to add it to the next part. So 5 plus 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And then 6 plus 5 is 11, so again, 1 and carry your 1. And 2 plus 1 is 3, plus your 1 is 4. So the answer to question 1 is 4,182. Okay. So the next one, 8,371 take away 3,529. So I'm going to obviously rewrite this one because the first number needs to be at the top. Okay. If you haven't done the quiz before the lesson, the one on Thursday I recommended doing it before and then you're ready with your answers. So we can't do 1 take away 7. Sorry, 1 take away 9. I know I'm a bit blah 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 this morning. So we go, when am I not? So we make that because we can't do 1 take away 9. So we go make it 11. So 11, 10, 9. So that's 2. Okay. 6 take away 2. We can do 6, 5, 4. Okay. 3 take away 5. We can't do that. Okay, because we end up going into minus numbers. So again, we go next door and say, hey you, give me one of yours. So that's 13 now. So 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Okay, and 7 take away 3. So 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, so your two answers should be 4,182 and 4,842. Well done if you got those. I have to rub that bit out there. There we go. Right, question 3. We've got a number and we need to round it to the nearest 10, 100 and 1,000. So this is our number. 13,764. Sometimes I wish I hadn't written the answers on the page because at some point I'll end up writing the answer on the board. You need to stay still a little bit more. So we need to round it to the nearest 10, 100 and 1,000. So 10, 100, 1,000. Okay. It's quite tricky rounding the same number all these different times. You practice at school rounding to all these different numbers to the nearest 10, and then you check off when you can round to 10, and then you do all the same to the 100, like a 3-digit number, the 4-digit number, and you check it off. Then you round to the 1,000, you round a 4-digit number, the 5-digit, and then when it gets to just one single number, it can be quite tricky because you're not used to going back or forth. So if you're good at rounding, but when it comes to one number you find it a bit tricky, that's okay. Okay, it is quite tricky because you naturally want to go on to another number. So just keep working through the number as you did before. So 10, we're rounding it to the nearest 10. So here is the tens, 64. So what you should do is ignore the rest of the number. 64, right, what's 64 to the nearest 10? Well, it's in the 60s. 4 tells us to stick or to round down. So it's 60. It's the nearest 10. But then put the rest of the number back in front. So 13,764 to the nearest 10 is 13,760. For the next part, the nearest 100, we're now taking all of this into account. Okay, so again, let's all ignore the thousands. 764, right, we're currently in the 700s, and it's the number to the right which tells us what to do. It is a 6, so that means we round up to the next 100. So if we're currently in the 700s and we need to go to the next 100, what's the next 100 after 700? 800. So 800, and we put the thousands in front of it. Now, you might have been taught something slightly different at school, but this is just my way of doing it. And then again, the last bit, the thousands. So I'm just going to cover, we're not doing nearest 10,000, so I'm going to cover up the 10,000. So we're currently 3,764. So we're currently in the 3,000s. The digit to the right is a 7, and that means we round up. So we don't stay in the 3,000s, we go up to the next 1,000, which is 4,000. So we've got 4,000. Remember, the rest of it should be zeros because you're rounding to the nearest 1,000. So it should be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. It shouldn't have any other digits here. And then we've got our 1 back in front. So 14,000. Okay, let's see how you got on with that. Okay. Brill. Hope you understand that last one. Okay, I know it's tricky when you're looking because you want it to naturally be the 3. Remember, 7 tells us to go up. Ta-da! Right, next question. In Lapland, this actually, I put this question thinking, I need somewhere cold to do this question. Could have just used England right now. In Lapland, it is minus 23 degrees. So it's minus 23. And in Madrid, in Spain is 21 degrees. And we need to know the difference between these two temperatures. Now, the best way to do this is to put them on a number line. Okay? And you're thinking, right, how do I what do I do? Now, it's a negative number and a positive number. So in between those, doesn't matter where you put it on the number line, there is a 0. Okay? There must be a 0 between the negative and the positive number. And when you're finding the difference, you're finding how many jumps it is between negative 23 and 21. So if you put the 0, this makes everything a little bit clearer, because you know the jump from 0 to 21 is 21. There's 21 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on to 21. And it's the same with this side. To go from 0 to negative 23, you're going to be doing 23 jumps. Now, it's not negative 23 jumps. It's just working out how many, yes, you're going into negative numbers, but you're going to do the jump 23 times. And then you basically work out, if you want to know how many jumps there are altogether, we add these two numbers. So that is going to be 44 degrees difference, okay? 44 degrees difference. That's just how much warmer it is, Madrid, than Lapland, or how much colder it is in Lapland than Madrid. You can only use that technique when you're going from negative numbers to positive numbers. If you're finding the difference within positive numbers, that's when you need to do subtraction. Okay, but a nice little trick with the 0 for you there. So the answer is 44 degrees. That's the difference. Okay. Question 5. Order these fractions from smallest to biggest. This is actually, I've not done a lot of work with unit fractions before sort of almost this year a little bit. I think it's because I've been working, because I'm a tutor really, and it's come up a lot more during lockdown, the kids learning. So I've actually learned, I knew about unit fractions, but I've learned how much more it is involved in maths than it used to be. So we have to order them, and it's asked from smallest to biggest. So the natural temptation is to look and go, right, they all have a 1 at the top. So all we got to do is look at the bottom number and order them from the smallest to biggest. So the 1 over 2 will be the smallest, and then there'll be 1 over 3, and the biggest will be 1 over 10. But let's compare. Let's pick two of the fractions and compare what they look like. Okay, so what I'm going to draw is a bar. Sometimes I like to say chocolate bar, but that's just to keep you guys engaged in the learning. So it's just a bar. Maybe it's a cereal bar. Let's be a bit more healthy, okay? Right, so they are equal size as much as I can draw. So let's find the half. Let's make one of them half. Well, if you split something into half, you split it into 2 equal parts. So there's our half. Now the other one, I'm going to split, I don't know, into 6. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 1/6. Oh, now can you see the half is much bigger than a 6? If you think one of your favourite things, would you rather say if it was a chocolate bar or a pizza or a vegetarian pasta, something, you know, if a bowl of vegetarian pasta, would you prefer, if it was your favourite thing, would you prefer to have half of the amount or a 1/6 of the amount? You prefer to have half because it's the biggest amount. So when you have unit fractions where the number at the 1 is the top, weirdly, I know it sounds weird, the bigger the number, the bigger the denominator, the smaller the fraction. So if you're ordering them from smallest to biggest, it's a 10th, and then a 7th, and then a 6th, and then a 5th, and then a 3rd, and then a half. Have a go, draw some bar models, draw some bars, compare what they look like. Okay, it's just one. As soon as you see that a couple of times, you'll remember it. Okay, So there you go. And have a look at the feed now, if you want a shout out. Now's the time to do it. Okay. Whoa, loads of comments. Well done for those people doing the rounding. Hugh in Edinburgh. Thanks for your t-shirt, not a problem. Hello from Chloe. Oh, well done, yeah. George knew the unit fractions, brilliant. If you're thinking what I'm talking about to do with t-shirts, it's because if you're a patron of Maths Live, for the second or third one, you get a t-shirt, okay? Some of you who are quite new, who might have only joined in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you will still, I've got to order your t-shirt, okay? But, yeah. Jeff and Frank in Scotland. Hi, Jeff and Frank. Okay, what question are we up to? Question 6. 3 boxes of Easter eggs cost £9. So 3 boxes of Easter eggs cost £9. This pen. Okay, so this is how you could draw it. There's one box. That's a squash box. And there's another squash box. And those 3 Easter eggs cost £9. And it asks you for the cost of 6 Easter eggs. So if 3 costs £9, watch this. This is what's called a ratio question. So I'm going to put these 3 Easter eggs, this is 3 here, and I'm comparing them, and it means it's £9. So for every 3, it's £9. But we don't have 3 Easter eggs, we have 6 Easter eggs. Okay, we need to work out how many there are. So you think, right, well, what have I done? What do I do to 3 to make it into 6? Double it, okay? Times it by 2. Okay? So you do the same to the other side. Okay? And 2 9s are 18. Now, you might not have done it that way. You might have just said, Steph, you don't need to do all this fancy working out. If you know that 3 are 9 and 6, you just double it. Yeah, it's fine, great. But it's when you get onto trickier ratio questions that using this model can really help. Okay, I think there's one in Thursday's quiz as well. There's one now. Okay, 5 packets of mini eggs cost £5.50. So watch. So 5 packets cost £5.50. Okay, and we're asked, how much do 3 packets cost? Okay. Now, can you see you can't jump from 3 to 5? You can't double 5 or treble it to make it into 3. You can't halve it to make it into 3. So what we do is find a middle amount, like a friendlier amount to help us on the way. So what I'm going to do is find out how much 1 packet costs. Because if I can find 1 packet, I can find any number of packets. So what I do to 5 to make it into 1 is divide it by 5. Okay. And then I divide all the other parts by 5. So if 5 divided by 5 is 1, then 5 divided by 5 is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and then you got your 0. So 5 packets cost £5.50, and 1 packet must cost £1.50. So now we've got 1 packet, we can find any number of packets. So to find 3 packets, we treble it. So we times all the rest of it by 3. So 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. So 3 packets cost £3.30. Well done. If you got that, so that's called ratio. Okay, when you've got a comparing set amount, and you can use that. It's used a lot in recipes. Okay, I've done quite a bit of work in the small group work with ratio. Okay. Right. 2 questions left. I know there's 3 questions, but I'll explain the last question if you didn't hear about it at the start. Question 8. Which fractions equal 0.4? So we're looking for 0.4. And here are our possibilities. We've got A, B. Oh, sorry. A, I'm going to write it out as the question presents it. A, B, C, and D. And we've got 1 over 4, 4 over 10, 2 over 5, and 4 over 100. Okay. Rather than just jumping straight into it, let's ignore these for now. And let's look at the decimal. And let's talk about the decimal. 0.4. Okay. Decimal point. This is the ones. Okay. And then we've got our decimal. What is the first digit? What place value does the first digit after the decimal point have? What is it called? We know ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, but what happens when it gets into the decimals? This is called the tenths. Okay. So in this decimal, it's 4/10. That's what it's called. You don't have to even say no ones. It's this, that means 4/10. Okay, can write it. 4/10. Okay, so what it means, essentially it means 4, it's less than the whole. Okay, but 4 out of the tenths column, there are 4 there. And that really gives you a good hint for all these parts, okay? 4/10, 4/10, 4/10, 4/10. Can you hear it? We know how to say that as a fraction. So it must be this one. Right, let's look at some of the other ones. Okay, if it's 4/10, it can't be 400. Okay, 400s, hundreds column is here. Okay, nothing is in the hundreds column, so it can't be that. Now the question says which fractions. So I've given you a clue. There's more than one. Okay, so you've got 1 over 4 and 2/5. Now you think, here we go. This has got a 4 in it, so it must be this one. This one's got a 2 and a 5. It can't be that. But what is 1 over 4 as a decimal? Because we know it. Because 1 over 4 is actually a quarter. And a quarter as a decimal is 0.25. Okay. If you're not sure about what a quarter is, or a half is, or a 3/4, or a third, look it up, practice it, go back to some of my old lessons. So that means it can't be this one. It's already got its own decimal. So it must be this one. But why? Because it's got a 5 at the bottom, it's got a 2 on top, and it doesn't really relate to 4 or 10. But this is where equivalent fractions come in. Okay, so I'm just going to make this a bit straighter, because equivalent fractions, if I put next to the 2/5 a denominator with 10, like here, to change the 5 into 10, if I want to make them the same, what I did to 5 to make it into 10 was times it by 2. Okay, so we do the same to the top. So 2 times 2 is 4. So 2/5 is equivalent to 4 over 10. So 2/5 is the other answer. Equivalent fractions. Okay, well done if you got that. Don't worry if you're not sure about it. I know we've got all different types of learners watching, all different age groups, from year 2 to year 7. So you're all doing brilliantly. Okay, question 9. It says, calculate the volume of this box. Okay. Oh, it's going a bit loopy. Okay, there we go. And it has given you, this side here is 6 centimetres. This side here is 6 centimetres. And this side here is 8 centimetres. Okay, let me just look at the feed before I finish. Okay. Volume is 3 dimensions. Excellent. Brilliant. Sorry, just before I disappear, I just want to read the feed. Hi Sophie. I'm really glad you enjoyed this worksheet, especially at 9:15 in the morning during your holidays. So I thank all of you for taking part. And hello to all the people that catch up at a more decent hour of the day. I do it at 9:15 just to get, like Joe Wicks does with his Just get everyone kicking, ready for the day. Your brain is activated. Think about the things you can achieve today after doing this quiz. Okay? But thank you, yes, for those who mentioned volume. We use a 3D shape. When we're finding the space inside a 3D shape, it's not area or perimeter, it's volume. And we do like base times height or length times width times depth. So the D means depth. So I always like to find the area of the 2D shape that I can see. And I call this part here. Can you see that this is my sort of square if I put it like that? Okay, can you see that the bottom is 6 and the height is 6? Okay, so to find this part, the base times height, I do 6 times 6, which is 36. So this part here must be 36. But then I've got to times that answer by the depth. So I've got to then do 36 times by 8. It's 38, so I'm going to do my column multiplication. You might do grid method. Everyone does it in different ways. Okay. 6 8s, 48. Okay. So there's 166, I'll do 8. 1 8 is 8, 2 8 is 16, 3 8 is 24, 4 8 is 32, 5 8 is 40, 6 8 is 48. Okay. And then I do 3 times 8. So 1 8 is 8, 2 8 is 16, 3 8 is 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So it's 288. But remember, you've got to make sure that your answer includes all the correct units of measurement. So it's 288 centimetres, because that's what we're measuring in, and volume is cubed. You put a little 3. Don't worry if you didn't quite remember that. If you put 288, yeah, I've got the answer, brilliant, and you forgot about the centimetres cubed, don't worry, because in a lot of proper tests, I know this is like a fun test, it would normally in the box already have that for you, but it's good to practice, it's good to remember it. Okay, and the last question, question 10, says reflect the Easter egg pattern across the central middle line. I am not even going to attempt to draw that pattern on the board, so what I have done is I've done it on my computer and I've taken a screenshot on it, and it'll have been on the page for the last 10 minutes. So as soon as you log off of this chat, go on my page, the answer's there. Let me know if you got it right, okay? It is tricky because there's a lot of up and down and side to side and diamonds, all the different parts. So hopefully I got it right. I only checked it really quickly. And thank you very much for joining in. I will be back on Thursday at the same time, 9:15, for quiz number 2, which I will post on the page tomorrow morning, so I'll give you a whole day to have a go at it. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you soon. Bye bye.